Once upon a time, in the heart of a vast and silent forest, where the trees whispered ancient secrets and the breeze carried tales from faraway lands, lived a jackal. Not just any jackal, but a clever, curious jackal who had a nose for trouble and for food. This jackal had been roaming the forest for 2 long days without a single bite to eat. No rabbits, no fruits, not even a crunchy old bone to chew on. Oh, my poor tummy, you sound like thunder. I must find something soon, or I'll faint. His paws dragged as he walked. His stomach growled so loudly, even the birds flew away in fear. He sniffed the ground, hoping for a clue. Just a whiff of berries, maybe a squirrel, or something left behind by humans. But the forest was quiet, too quiet. Suddenly, there was a loud noise, followed by another. It was like the sky was playing drums right above the trees. The sound echoed between the trees. The jackal crawled into the bushes, and his heart pounding like a drum. I don't like this. I am alone. I am hungry. And now haunted? The jackal decided he must find out what was making that awful sound. Step by step, he moved closer to the source. He tiptoed like a thief, ducking behind bushes, hiding behind tree trunks, ears alert and eyes sharp. Whatever it is, I must be brave. Maybe it's something to eat, maybe it's nothing at all. Then he saw it. There, in a small clearing where the sunlight danced on the leaves, stood a big round object leaning against a tree. It was brown, stretched with skin, with ropes and wooden sides, and every time the wind blew, a branch swung in and hit it. That's it. That's the monster. The jackal walked up slowly, sniffed it, circled around it once, then twice. It's just a drum. A silly, noisy, empty drum. I was scared of this. He jumped on it and even gave it a bite. No food, no smell, no use. But just as he was about to walk away, something clicked in his clever little mind. If there is a drum here, it must belong to someone. A soldier, a traveler, or a camp nearby. He sniffed again, and there, a faint scent on the wind. Cooked rice, boiled meat, something delicious. He followed the smell, nose to the ground, tail wagging, weaving through trees like a furry detective. The scent grew stronger. He moved faster, eyes shining with hope. Then, aha! Behind a bush, under a tall fig tree, an old abandoned camp. There were ashes from a fire, a few empty pots, and best of all, leftover food. Jackal jackpot! He found half-eaten rice, a juicy bone, even a little ghee-soaked bread someone had dropped. This is better than any feast I have had in days. He gobbled, slurped, licked, and munched until his belly bulged. Then he lay back under the tree, eyes half closed, tummy round and full. Jackal said happily, "Sometimes being brave pays off." From that day on, the jackal wasn't afraid of strange noises anymore. Whenever he heard something odd, instead of running away, he looked closer, listened harder, and used his brain. And do you know what happened? He became the wisest jackal in the forest, respected by all and feared by none, not even by the drums. Moral of the story: sometimes things that seem scary at first aren't scary at all. Be curious, be brave, and you just might discover something wonderful.
The Blue Jackal. Once upon a time, in a dense forest, there lived a jackal named Buru. He was clever but also very hungry most of the time. The forest where Buru lived was full of dangerous animals like lions, tigers, and leopards. Buru often found it difficult to compete with them for food. One day, Buru was roaming the forest, searching for something to eat. His stomach growled loudly, and he felt weaker with every passing moment. As he wandered around, he accidentally ventured into a nearby village. The village was bustling with people, animals, and houses, and it smelled of delicious food. Buru's nose twitched as he followed the smell to a washerman's backyard. There he saw large pots of water mixed with dye. The washerman used this dye to colour clothes. Curious and still hungry, Buru crept closer. Suddenly, a group of village dogs noticed him and started barking loudly. Terrified, Buru ran for his life as the dogs chased him. Desperate to escape, he leaped into one of the large dye pots and hid inside. The dogs surrounded the pot but couldn't see him. After sniffing around for a while, they lost interest and ran off. Buru waited quietly until he was sure it was safe to come out. When he finally climbed out of the pot, he realized something very strange had happened. His fur, which was once grey, had turned bright blue. He looked at himself in amazement. "What is this? I look so different now," Buru thought. Then an idea struck him. "With this new appearance, no one will recognize me as an ordinary jackal. Perhaps I can use this to my advantage." Buru returned to the forest, feeling confident. As soon as he entered, the other animals stared at him in shock. They had never seen such a strange and beautiful creature before. His blue fur sparkled in the sunlight, and he looked majestic. The lions, tigers, elephants, and all the other animals gathered around him, curious and a little scared. "Who are you?" asked the lion, the king of the forest. Thinking quickly, Buru raised his voice and declared, "I have been sent by the gods to rule over this forest. They have made me their special messenger and given me this blue color as a sign of my divine power. From now on, I will be your king, and you must obey me." The animals, awestruck by his appearance and commanding voice, believed his words. They bowed before him and agreed to make him their king. "Long live our king!" they cheered. From that day onward, Buru lived like royalty. The animals brought him food every day, fresh fruits, meat, and everything he could ever want. He no longer had to search for food or fear for his life. The lion guarded him, the elephants fanned him with their ears, and the birds sang songs in his honor. Buru enjoyed his new life immensely. To maintain his position, Buru banned all jackals from coming near him. He feared they might recognize him and expose his secret. He told the other animals, "The gods have forbidden me from associating with ordinary jackals. They are beneath me, and I must remain pure." The animals respected his wishes and chased away any jackals that came near. For a while, everything went perfectly for Buru. He was happy and comfortable in his role as the Blue King. But one fateful night, things changed. As Buru was resting under a tree, he heard a pack of jackals howling in the distance. Their cries were loud and haunting, echoing through the forest. Hearing the familiar sound, Buru felt a strange excitement rise within him. He tried to resist, but his natural instincts as a jackal took over. Before he could stop himself, he lifted his head and howled loudly into the night. "A woo!" The other animals who were nearby were shocked. They stared at Buru in disbelief. "What is this?" whispered the tiger. "He's howling like a jackal." "Could it be that he's not a divine creature after all?" asked the deer. The animals began murmuring among themselves. They had believed Buru was special, but now they were suspicious. Realizing his mistake, Buru tried to cover it up. "Oh, that was just a divine chant taught to me by the gods," he said nervously. But it was too late. The animals were no longer fooled. They noticed his mannerisms and behavior and realized he was just an ordinary jackal who had tricked them. Furious at being deceived, the animals turned against him. The lion roared, "How dare you lie to us and take advantage of our trust? You will pay for this." The animals chased Buru out of the forest. He ran as fast as his legs could carry him, dodging claws and teeth. He eventually escaped and found himself alone in the wilderness. His blue fur faded over time, and he was left to fend for himself once again. From that day on, Buru learned an important lesson. Pretending to be someone you're not may bring you temporary success, but the truth will always come out in the end. And so Buru lived the rest of his life humbly, remembering the price he paid for his deception